You're watching Exit 1055 with your host, Richard Rose.
And good morning to you. I'm Richard Rose. Welcome to Exit 1055 Long Island. This is your TV 1055 show about all things Long Island. In a few moments, a new state grant has been awarded to help eligible homeowners with repairs that they haven't been able to afford. We'll explain. But we begin this morning with more on the largest housing project that's ever been proposed for Long Island. The Heartland Town Square is now just one step away from reality. But there are still some opponents hoping to keep the developers from ever breaking ground on this sprawling complex. The Suffolk County Planning Commission debated for hours over the Heartland Town Square project. Developer David Wolkoff is used to that. His family first proposed the massive development for the town of Islip 14 years ago.
The major first phase will be 3,500 units, 250,000 square feet of retail, and about 300,000 square feet of office.
These artist renderings show what Wolkoff hopes to build in 3 phases over the next 30 years. It includes a total of 9,000 apartments on the grounds of the former Pilgrim Psychiatric Center. The Wolkoff family bought the property years ago and has already demolished all of the abandoned buildings.
This is the worst project ever proposed on Long Island in history.
The head of the Long Island Pine Barrens Society says the Heartland project will create waste and potential contamination on land that's already been designated a special groundwater protection site. The developer says there's no issue, though, because the project will be hooked up to an existing sewer line. Project opponents also pointed to the many vehicles that will be added to the already congested traffic on the main roads bordering the site. That worries Mike MELILLO, who works nearby.
Long Island Avenue, getting from Heartland to Deer Park Avenue, if there are trucks on the road, you can be on that road for 15, 20 minutes.
The developers say they'll handle that by setting up shuttle service to nearby buses and trains for the new residents.
What we're trying to do is trying to get people out of their car and to use mass transportation. So we're going to be providing things like zip cars.
And joining us now is the developer of this project. He's David Wolkoff, and welcome to the show, David.
Thank you.
We should mention your father, of course, a big part of this grand vision, right?
Jerry Wolkoff, yes, absolutely.
It started with him, right?
It was his vision right from the beginning.
Because it's been a long time since you... When did you actually buy the land there?
It's been a little over 14 years.
So this has been a long process.
It has.
So before we detail more of what you're hoping to build there, your reaction to some of the critics here, you know, they're on two sides of the thing, some of the environmentalists, some of them are neighbors. But let's start with what they say is the potential contamination of water. Putting it simply, they fear that waste from so many thousands of people could get into the groundwater, somehow taint it, or even draw down from the aquifers. How do you react to that? Well, what's your answer to that?
We're going to put everything into the sewer system, so it'll be protected. We're going to build to the highest standards we can possibly build to, and should be no concern whatsoever.
The Southwest Sewer District,
That's
isn't that correct? But of course, you know, dense populations can draw down on the aquifer. Any concern that you'll be drawing too much water from our aquifer? We have a single source aquifer that we all rely on.
No, we don't think we're going to get to that level. In fact, within our secret process, there's checks and balances. So through every phase, there's 3 phases to the project. And at every phase, they're going to be checking on traffic, water, and sewage. So we believe that we won't even come close to doing any sort of damage to that.
Yeah, I think that was part of, like, I guess, what was a compromise, because it got held up for years by all these boards and had to approve it. And then it was agreed that you'd do it in 3 stages, I guess, so that you can gauge whether any of these problems may arise. Are you okay with doing it that way?
Absolutely. We've agreed to it. So we're very comfortable with the 3 phases. Like I said, the hurdle rates that we've put in, or that the state has put into place in the secret process, we're very comfortable with, and we know we're going to beat them.
Well, I think the more typical concern that you hear from folks when you ask about this is the traffic, because as you know, that site, the area around the site is already pretty congested. Yeah. How are you going to deal with that?
Well, the object of smart growth projects like mine is to get people out of their cars, to put them aside, to use mass transportation, to walk, bike to work, and to play. So we're trying to get them out of the cars, and we have very many solutions. One of them is to have hourly car rentals, like zip cars, where people can rent the car by the hour when they need it, when they need it. Promote mass transportation, have a bus service that takes people to and from their property, their residence, to the Deer Park train station.
The Deer Park trains. How far away is the Deer Park train station?
It's less than a mile away.
Less than a mile. So, you know,
much less than a mile.
New Yorkers, especially on Long Island, everybody's got a car. Some of them have 2, 3, 4 cars. People who move into your complex, they're going to have cars. You really think they're going to leave their cars there and get into a zip car instead?
Well, Long Island, yes. Long Islanders are addicted to their cars. But we believe that over time that we will get them to see that it's ridiculous to have a car, so many cars, right? So, I mean, like you said, people have 2, 3, 5 cars. It's crazy. And there's no need for it, especially the cost of it. And when they realize, why do I need to pay $5,000 plus a year for a car when I can walk and bike and I have a mass transportation? So it'll be a learning process. And plus, if 2 people rent an apartment from me, then one person will have a car, be able to park near their unit. But if the other person wants to have a car, well, we're going to make them park on the other side of the town.
Well, how many people in the first phase would you anticipate would actually be? How many units again in that first phase?
In the first phase, in the total first phase, 3,500.
You got to figure 2 people to a place, no?
Yes.
You have an average on that?
We figure 2 people per place.
So that's 7,000 people.
Yes.
If half of them don't take their car, that's 3,500 more cars.
That's 3,500. Well, no, we believe that. So what you're thinking is that new people are moving into the area. We believe that we're going to draw from Suffolk County, the people who are there already. That it's another housing option, and that's the problem with Long Island. There's not enough housing choices on Long Island. You know, right now it's 17%. Long Island has 17% rental to total housing stock. In all the New York metropolitan area, it's double that. So Westchester has 35+% housing stock. So there's no places for people to choose from. And so when we offer
that's
them,
the positive aspect of your project that most people agree with, is we need places for the next generation of people to live. What about are they going to be market rates? What kind of rentals are you? What will they go for?
We believe that 90% will be, not believe, we know that 90% will be market rate and 10% will be affordable.
Affordable, how is that defined?
Affordable is about 100 to 110% of the AMI.
And then the rents are lowered significantly? By what difference would the rents be?
Well, it's whatever the AMI is, and it's 110% or 100%.
Okay, now another issue with traffic around there is the Sagdeco State Parkway. I use it all the time to get home. Man, that could be crazy because the entrances are so quick and narrow. The state's supposedly looking to do something there. What's the latest on that?
Right now we know they're studying the Sagdeco. I mean, both you and I can tell them, and it's not working right now. So it
wasn't working before this even came along.
No, absolutely. So they need to do something with it.
Yeah, because if you had, and you're right near it.
I'm right on it, yeah.
Yeah, so you would need to do something about that. All right, your next step is the Islip Town Board. I tried to get some reaction from them. Nobody called me back. Made me wonder, are they a little leery about supporting you public because of the controversy? What have you heard from them? Any concerns been expressed to you?
We believe that it's positive in our favor, that they are looking forward to hopefully passing and approving the project.
When do you anticipate that happening?
We're hoping the next month.
In the next month?
Yeah.
And now, how many votes would you need on the board there?
The majority.
And what is it, 5?
5. There's 5 board members.
3 votes would do it.
Yes.
And the town supervisor is one of the votes.
And the town supervisor is one of the votes. Yeah, Angie, yes.
Okay, so let's say you get 3 votes and that's approved. That's it then? You're on your way?
Then we're on our way. But it's not like we get the approval and boom, we go, you know,
well, what would happen
boom,
next,
we go right to work on the engineering of the project. And within 2 years, we'll probably see sticks in the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the ground itself ready for this? I know there used to be a lot of buildings there, and you tore them all down. How about the ground itself? Does it need any further preparation?
Well, we have to put infrastructure. And remember, we just talked about the sewage system. We have to put all the new sewage in. So there's a lot of infrastructure work to be done.
Who's paying for that sewer system?
We are. We being the developer.
The developer, not the taxpayer.
No.
Well, you know, it's a project that's been talked about for so many years, and here you are so close to it. How does it feel to be at this point?
We're really excited about it. We're chomping at the bit to get going. We believe that Long Islanders really, and the region, needs this sort of project. And we're large enough to really make a difference. So we're very positive and very excited to be moving forward with it.
Well, if you get to do it all, it'd be over 30 years, and it'd be an enormous amount of development, but we'll take it one phase at a time.
Hey, yep, absolutely. We're looking for people to have housing choices and a lot of work.
David Wolkoff, along with his dad, hoping to bring you the Heartland Town Square. One more step to go. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Of course, we'll be watching to see what happens.